Real Finance blockchain is nearing its token generation event after securing a $25 million commitment from Nimbus Capital. The launch is not just a token event. It is a test of whether institutional RWA infrastructure can attract assets after funding. The confirmed event is that Real Finance is preparing a token generation event backed by a $25 million capital commitment from Nimbus Capital. The reason this belongs in a crypto news read is that RWA-focused networks are moving from concept to launches that need banks, capital markets partners, risk frameworks, and asset onboarding. The opening pressure point is Real prepares its token launch against funding must become assets. The first confirmed detail is a token generation event is being prepared, and the immediate reason to care is that Nimbus committed $25 M. That means the viewer should track launch terms and asset pipeline instead of treating the first reaction as the whole story. The confirmed context is the anchor. The confirmed baseline is a planned TGE, a $25 million Nimbus commitment, and a target to tokenize $500 million in RWAs within the first year. Nimbus is backed by Inon Capital, which manages more than $1.4 billion in assets. It gives the story its boundaries, which is especially important when the market starts filling gaps with assumptions. The two facts that set the baseline are clear. Real targets $500 M in RWAs in year one, and Nimbus brings more than capital. That frame keeps $25 M backs the launch plan connected to the actual consequence rather than floating as an isolated statistic. Most people arrive after the move is obvious and the easy upside is gone. We focus on serious crypto education and high-quality signals before the crowd rushes in so you can understand the setup earlier and move sooner. If you want that edge, visit the link below now. Real Finance blockchain only makes sense once the mechanism is clear. The mechanism is launch funding plus institutional network access. Capital supports infrastructure, while Nimbus helps with market relationships. Real's model centers on a layer 1 for tokenizing, insuring, and managing real-world assets onchain. That mechanism explains why the event can create consequences beyond the first reaction. In practice, Nimbus adds capital and networks is the hinge between the confirmed event and the next market or user response. The mechanism split is simple. Strategic guidance is part of the deal, while institutional contacts can aid onboarding. If that hinge fails, the strongest title-level claim loses force even if the story keeps attracting attention. The practical effect is not evenly spread. RWA issuers, institutional partners, token launch participants, banks, and Real Finance's network builders are affected. The practical consequence is a larger credibility test after launch because funding does not guarantee asset onboarding. The first-year $500 million RWA target gives the market a concrete benchmark to judge execution. The useful boundary is that RWA onboarding becomes the benchmark, while TGE terms are not public. The impact split is Real is built for institutional RWAs, and the target creates an execution benchmark. That keeps the impact focused on the people, markets, or systems actually named in the evidence. The open question is still part of the story. What remains unclear is the TGE timing, token terms, and whether institutions onboard assets at the stated pace. That does not prove that a funding commitment guarantees token demand or RWA volume. The evidence would be stronger with TGE terms, partner disclosures, asset onboarding, and risk framework details would clarify the launch. This is the line between analysis and speculation. The unresolved split is TGE terms are not yet public and funding does not guarantee token demand. The story can stay important while TGE terms are not public remains unresolved, but the stronger claim needs visible proof. Most people arrive after the move is obvious and the easy upside is gone. We focus on serious crypto education and high-quality signals before the crowd rushes in so you can understand the setup earlier and move sooner. If you want that edge, visit the link below now. The next useful signal is specific. Watch the TGE date, token terms, and early asset onboarding progress toward the $500 million target. If the native token launches with clear use and asset pipelines, the story shifts from pre-launch into asset onboarding. For Real Finance blockchain, the next move should be judged by that signal. The trigger split is launch timing is the next trigger and asset onboarding will show execution. If that trigger does not arrive, the story may stay in pre-launch longer than early attention suggests. If it does arrive, asset onboarding becomes easier to evaluate with facts instead of assumptions.